con is that I feel like they shouldn't glamorize it in the know that they're trying to entice people to get into the program. Granted, but I feel like they really need to, or people understand that you're not here to play. You're really here to work.
Hi guys, welcome back to Au Pair Corner, Project Au Pair. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are new, I am LeboneM and this channel is all about basically everything au pair. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much. Today I'll be interviewing Muditime. She also has a YouTube channel. She's quite prominent on the social needs, and she has been an au pair for 2 years, lived with 2 different families. So we're gonna get her perspective on her experience and how her experience went. I hope you guys like it, and thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks. Well, first of all, I wanted to say thank you for hopping on this call with me and assisting with the school project that I've got going on. And I want to get started by asking you, like, how long have you been an au pair?
2 years.
2 years. Okay. And how did you find out about the program?
I actually had an au pair when I was younger. African au pair aren't the same as American au pairs. Like my au pair would take me to, and he was basically my tutor as well, because that's what he did. So then when I was in 16, and then my mom kept on emphasizing, she was like, you don't have to go to school. She's like, if you want to, like, after matric, like, you're not forced to go to school, or just travel so that you can figure out what it is. And then obviously, like, back in matric, agencies would to like that assembly time to speak to you about it. And then I'd see, I wasn't like in it, because I'm like, yeah, no, I think I want to go to school, because my friend was like, no, let's go. I also want to go to school since we're going to be applying to the same school. Did first year of school, and like started, I told my mom, and I'm like, I don't think I want to do the school thing right now.
Gotcha. Okay. Yes, girl, you had an au pair slay. Okay. Tell me a little bit about your experience, like how many families you've lived with, how many kids, just like a brief overview of that.
I worked with 2 families, obviously one family in my first year, then for my very first year, I worked with on the profile it had, but I wasn't working with 3 kids at the beginning. At the beginning, I was working with 2 kids. The third kid only, and then there was family matters that were going on, and then the third kid started to live with us permanently, because it made me realize that 3 kids, anything more than 2 kids, it's a lot, not cute at all. And then I had 2 kids for my second year. My first year, I don't even remember it. First year, so I don't even consider it as part of my journey. I only part of my journey because it was like the best year of my life. So yeah.
Cool. And then did you have any like issues in terms of either like being overworked or just like part of like rule breaking happening, like not adhering to your boundaries? Like, did you have any of that?
I did. I did. Obviously, this happened in the year that I don't remember. So there were times where like my schedule wouldn't be making sense. Like, for example, on my off days, I was a week in advance that I was off. I'd be told on the day, like at 1 p.m., that you're not working today. What time am I working? And then she'd only tell me at 1 p.m., like, yeah, no, you're not working to my schedule. She would want to give me my schedule on time. She would only give me my schedule on Wednesday, and the week is basically over. My hours never really made sense, even though, like, I'd tell her, like, she'd say, no, they are. You getting more off time, but I'm like, it's not. Also, the hours that I was working were really absurd to me, for the school, because I wasn't taking the kids to school, like school to go to school. But then in the afternoon, I'd start at like 2:30, and then I'd finish working at like 12, because that's the time that the kids would be going to sleep, which didn't make any sense to me. And then there was also a time when, for example, we went on holiday. Okay, it wasn't holiday. Something was happening in the family. Then I thought that I was going to be getting my own hotel room because that's how. And then the whole family, all six of us, were all stuck that we all had to share. It was a crazy experience. And then when I had told them, like, no, we're not supposed to be sharing a room, that we weren't supposed to be sharing a room, because at the time we couldn't go to the house because we kind of fled from the house. And then they were like, yeah, no, if you want to, you can pay for your, or we will pay for your flights to go back home, and then you'll go home. And in my mind, I was like, how are these people that fled from the house telling you 20-year-olds to go back home to the house that everybody fled on? So basically they were glad to stay in the situation where it was all of us in this room. Very, very, it was the pits. It was just the pits.
Wow, girl.
But yeah, like I feel, example, like in the first year, there was a lot of lack of communication. I feel like it allows them, quote unquote, more space for them to disrespect you. Her younger sister was the same age as me. So basically, like that's I'm like it allows a room for quote unquote disrespect. And also I feel like I've also realized, and not only with me, that being a person of color working with some of them, not all of them, they'll disrespect you more than other counterparts.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally agree with you there.
Especially knowing that you come from Africa or anything. That's I'm like, and it's like, no, babes, we're on the same parents here. You're making me dumb, and I'm not dumb. I don't know why.
No, I definitely know what you're talking about. There's always this thing, and I don't know if I'm the only one that experienced it. Au pairs from Europe are considered like a way higher caliber than au pairs from either South America
Yeah,
or Africa. And I'm just like, no, because
fully.
that just no, yeah, it justifies the fact that people of color or minorities are gonna be always put in a box or always treated a certain way than people who are a fairer skin color. You know what? White. Let me go ahead and just say that white. So which is kind of like unfair, And one of my things
Yeah.
was trying to au pair is that I was trying to find a family that was either mixed or black. Like I wanted to have that
Yeah.
brown in the house because coming from a country that's really
Mm-hmm.
racist, I wanted to feel like comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
Not that I wouldn't feel comfortable with a white family. I've just never lived with
Yeah.
a white family before. So in my first year, I had a mixed family, a white mom,
Mm-hmm.
black dad. Went fine. The kids looked like me, so there wasn't anything. Yeah, I was an outsider or anything like that. Whereas my second year, I moved to the San Francisco area and I had an all white family. And girl, it was definitely like a culture shock, but I wasn't treated any different,
Mm-hmm.
which I liked because it's California and a lot of people are kind of woke in California. But so I definitely understand what
I get that. And also the thing of like when you start speaking, they're like, oh my goodness, you know how to speak English so well. And it's like we were colonized by the Brits. What's supposed to happen? Come on now, Chelsea.
there are so many microaggressions individuals from Africa experience. And
Yeah.
like, you guys cannot be acting this way for a first world country. Y'all should be actually educated and know that we come
Yeah.
from a civilized place. Like, no, they'd be asking questions like, oh, how'd you get here? But the way I got here on a plane. Okay. Jeez. It just
Yeah.
ignorance of American individuals is just like, yeah, girl, we can talk about it all day long. Okay, so the next
Because
question.
my mom was even saying when she was like my mom was like when she was visiting,
Uh-huh.
when she came to visit me, one like obviously she watches the news and she's like it really baffles her that like for us American content is shoved down through our throats, and she's like in America, she's like you won't see anything of American news. She's like you'll flip through all the channels, CNN, like all of them, but you're only stuck in a little
Yeah.
bubble.
Yeah. Okay. Next question is, okay, I don't want you to feel like you have to address anything traumatic if you don't want to. But I think it is important to ask, did you or anyone you know in the au pair world face any abusive behavior like verbal abuse, manipulation, sexual advances, sexual assaults?
I don't know of anyone, no, and I personally didn't go through it. And it's scary. I feel like for us, it's even scary. I don't know if you can also relate that, like, it kind of, girls ask you about, like, the pay program, and then you help them, and then they see, they're like, oh, is this right? I don't feel like I'm being treated right. Da, da, da. And that's like, Channel. I'm not saying I wasn't kind of telling you like to come and do it, but now it's like, now it's like you kind of feel bad because you're like, I don't know how to help you in this. Like, I don't know. It's like you feel the weight on you, and it's not your load to carry. But then I explain it. But then now it's just like it's kind of your fault that this person chose this guilty for having, such a good run in whatever period you're on your pay. Is having such a bad experience. Am I making sense?
Yeah, you are totally making sense because when I started my YouTube channel, the reason why I started in the beginning was to spread awareness of how things can go wrong and right. Like you're gonna be lucky. You get a good family or you get a bad family. And I just wanted to spread awareness that, hey, I didn't convince you to do this, okay? I was just spreading information. So if things go wrong, don't put it on me, girl, okay? Because there's this conscious feeling or this subconscious feeling that I get that I feel guilty in glorifying it or praising it to know that it's not what it is. And I never want to pray that the au pair program was the best thing ever. For me personally, it was. It helped me in so many levels that I never knew it would help. But I know that it's not going to happen for the next girl. The next girl may have a totally different experience. And I always wanted to shine light on that fact that, listen, it may not go well for you. It went well for me though, but it may not go well for you. So, and I think that a lot of girls need to be aware that you are moving from your home country, your home support systems, and you are flying across the world to live with strangers that really they don't give a fuck about you, and you're just there to work for them, and they literally
you there to work.
Exactly. So I'm always trying to like spread light on that fact, and people be like, oh, I'm gatekeeping or I don't want them to join the girl, do whatever you want to do. I'm just telling you the truth. Whatever you do from there. Let's see, what's the next question? Oh yeah. Was the experience anything you'd imagined?
The reason I'm saying no is I'm gonna use variance on this, like me being a fresh new pair, because I'm like second year, your smart time. No, because what the agency shuts down is like, oh, you're gonna be traveling. So now it's just like, I'm gonna be, and then they're like, whoa, what much money? And you're like, whoa, it's like, you know that you're gonna be there to work. So it's like the work is so, like when they tell you that you're gonna be working at them, the traveling and the money and the friends that you make and all the activities, that's loud. It's obnoxiously loud, and then it's so confusing because it's I'm actually working. Why? I feel like also they don't really maintain the schedule options, because I also did, because I was part of the ambassador program. Can you guys please make an effort to actually speak to au pairs and let them know, so that every family has a different schedule, and show au pairs all the different schedules, complete schedule. I'm confused, and you have a whole 9-hour schedule. I'm confused. I'm like, why does my schedule is like this? Why am I only working 10 hours? And I'm like, I need you guys to speak like future au pairs, like what the options of schedules are, because now why my schedule is like this. Also, in terms of, oh, you have a free weekend. I think that they also need to emphasize, weekends off every single weekend. Like, for example, sometimes you're gonna work on a Sunday. I'm huge effort to show all the type of skills. They're like, no, but families already do that. And I really deny the fact that families do that. But I'm like, au pairs that are coming into the program do not understand, because now you're left questioning it, and now you're thinking that your family is a bad family because hours, but here your friend is working 5 hours. It doesn't make sense to you.
Mm-hmm. So what are the cons for you about the program?
The cons for me was that I was able to live in a different country, didn't have to pay
Girl,
for rent.
cons, not the pros yet. We're not the cons are the bad ones.
I don't know. I feel like the cons about the program for me is that there isn't any mental health help. And I feel like as an au pair, like we really also told them in the ambassador program, and I was like, we really need therapists, we really need psychologists. I'm like, it's such a huge transition. You're literally leaving home to come work for a family that you need to adjust to the kids and the place, and there's just so many things that are hitting you all at once. Like, we really need emotional support. I understand that there's friends and there's an RCC, but I feel like they're not fully equipped. Another con of the program is this thing about, like, it still rubs me the wrong way. It could be an RCC for 20 years and then you ask them for tax support. They're like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, being an RCC for you had an au pair. What do you mean you don't know? The con is that I feel like they shouldn't glamorize it, and know that they're trying to entice people to get into the program. Granted, but I feel like they really need to, or people understand that you're not here to play. You're really here to work. If you had the mentality of, for example, you're here to work and it's like, oh no, you're here to play, then you're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna play. Instead of you going to the mentality of, I'm here to work. Because now if you if your headspace is on the, like, on the terms of like in your work foot, you're gonna put the work cap on, not the fun little play. And also this thing of where like they just drop you, like the people that lead you to the process leading up to no pay. Immediately when you fly out, it's like they don't appear into thin air. And I know at the time they already got their money and stuff, they were still able to check on us. And also the money. I don't understand on how au pairs were getting paid $199 and to this day paid the same amount, because the standard of living is completely different and it's so expensive. Kids in the early 2000s had a good time with that 199. I feel like they went such a, most of them, I bet they were able to still save up a lot of money compared to so expensive.
Think of pros, the good things about the program.
Okay. The pros is that I was able to live, in a different country, in a city that I was able to afford and still live a life like a normal person. And, obviously not paying for the relationships that I was able to establish with the people that I throughout the whole experience, and also making a difference in the kids' lives that I worked in. Like, it's the impact and difference that you make in these kids' life. It's absolutely insane. Like, to this day, even though they're gonna have like future pairs, but they really become a part of you. Another con, part of your comfort zone, because the fact that you're able to leave your mother's house, not even go to a different property on your own and do it all on your own. It's Yeah. I think another con that I also want to say is that people automatically think that when you leave America, you just stay there forever. And it's like, but you want me to stay here forever? How am I supposed to? So you know the feeling, even though you're there studying, but now you have an added studying, what happens next. But yeah, those are the pros and cons that I could think of really quickly.
Awesome. Thank you. That is so amazing. And maybe like in 2 sentences, what advice would you give to a future au pair that's in grade 12 right now looking to do the program?
Before you even like start applying, just talk to God about everything and literally tell God exactly what it is that you're expecting and what it is that you want from your picks. Do your due diligence, do your research, watch all the bad videos, watch all the good videos so that you have an idea, a delusional idea about what the pay experience is. And I just say do it because it really broadens your horizon, it broadens your thinking. Like you see the world much more to life than what there is at home, or you just be stuck in one place. Like you just think like life at home, you just look out of the side eye like for real, people actually look like this when you can do it. But then don't just be doing it because LeBron is doing it, don't anybody else is doing it. Do it because you want to do it. And I feel like another thing that I always tell people, and this is to finish my degree before I actually started, because it's so fucked up. Oh, the time is up. You had a high school mentality. Now I'm like, whoa, what do I do next? At least I'm actually going to be stepping into the real world. So I will
Right.
do another degree. It's so messed up. Yeah. Do I study back home? What? I always just tell people, I'm like, guys, just better school. Just get that degree and go. Because if you look at it, many of the au pair girls, they had their degrees. They were old au pairs, like, but done. But some of them, for example, from Germany, some of them, they were young like us. We came fresh out of high school or like didn't even finish school. So I'm just like, be a big and good when you're done with school.
Yeah. Oh, that is such great advice. Oh my gosh, I want to keep talking to you, but the time is running out. Oh my gosh. But I wanted to say thank you so much for talking to me today and taking time out of your day. I really, really appreciate it.